Hasn't.
Not
It's
on.
not done. There it is.
Welcome to the Pet Loss Companion. I'm Ken Dolan-Del Vecchio, and I'm here with Nancy Saxton-Lopez, my friend and co-author. And this is a program that we do every Thursday from 1 p.m. Eastern, from 6 p.m. Eastern. What's going on with me? To 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And generally, what we do is we read stories that we've received from audience members. And today, we're going to read comments that people have left on the uh, both on
Different.
Spotify
Yeah,
and
right.
on YouTube.
Different play platforms.
And so, first, we'll just talk a little bit about how you can connect with us because we'd love to receive your stories. You can reach me at kenddv@gmail.com. You can reach Nancy at nancysaxtonlopez at gmail.com. And if you send us your story, please let us know if it's okay for us to share it on the program and on our Substack. And if you would like, we can not share parts of it, but just share uh, most of it, the gist of your story, whatever makes sense to you. And this program is a friend of Dakin Humane Society, which offers all kinds of resources for people like us who have animal family members whom we love. And one of the resources that Dakin offers is a pet loss support group
Hmm.
that I facilitate once a month. It's on the second Tuesday of the month, and it runs from 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern to 7:30. And you are welcome to join. There is no cost for you. There's
Hmm.
an RSVP link in the description. Also in the description is the various ways that you can provide some support to our program. And we'd like to ask you, as a measure of support, if you haven't already, to please subscribe and perhaps leave a comment or a heart or a thumbs up, because all of those help others learn about the program and bring it to the attention of those who may benefit. And finally, we would like you to know that we have an affiliate relationship with a company called Bereave, which makes these very finely crafted memorial plaques.
Beautiful plaques.
They are made of granite and they're
Yeah.
engraved beautifully. And if you would like one and you purchase one through the link in our description, we will get a bit of a gift back as part of your purchase price. Nancy, you want to get us started?
Yes, like Ken said, we have a few, or quite a few comments actually. So we're calling it down before we went on live. So, but I'm going to start. Now, a lot of these are responses to the podcast that maybe they saw that day or recently, or some are even months ago. This is from Michelle. Just found this and I'm so grateful. I am deep in the throes of totally debilitating anticipatory grief after the sudden and totally unexpected diagnosis of a very aggressive cancer in my beloved dog pal of 16 years. He has always been so vigorous and youthful, and as recently as just a few weeks ago was ripping around our yard at top speed. Now I know he may have only weeks to live, and it is ripping my heart out. I so identify with Maura and her story of Fred. I never want to leave the house now as I feel like every moment is precious. I am also terrified of having to make the decision for euthanasia, although I know it is the right thing to do and I would never want him to suffer. My brain is unconvinced and keeps telling me that he will get better. How do I come to accept that he will not? I absolutely don't want to wait too long, but all I can think about every time I look at him is how my life is going to be devoid of joy without him, with a crying emoji. So,
Ah,
you know this, I've been doing this right at the Crown, right?
yeah.
At the place I'm working. And all of a sudden, boom, there's a shock, right? Shock wave with pet parents like, oh my God, why? What's happening here? Oh, they're really sick, right? In fact, I have someone who was a couple and their cat has, has cancer and only has a few months to live. And I must say that the dad was just overcome with grief. I've been working with them. I talk to them, and I'm supporting them through that process because they have to come, like Michelle, right, to that place that either they may have to euthanize or that his life is going to end, right? So and I can understand what she's saying is like, well, I don't believe this, right? I don't believe this, right? This is going to happen.
Well, there's a few things that are harder than anticipatory grief, I think,
Yeah.
because of the uncertainty, because of the anxiety, because you are having to be vigilant and watching for signs of hope and signs of
Yeah.
decline at the same time.
Right.
And that is so emotionally draining. It's so very hard because you just so much want to spend time that's ebbing away
Right.
from you
Precious, right? Like,
with your beloved animal friend, and
yeah.
you know that you're going to have to make this decision, or that they're going to slip away maybe.
Mm.
And it is just so heart-wrenching, so gut-wrenching.
It's agonizing and
Yeah.
it's anxiety provoking.
And the fact that you know that you're going to lose them
Mm-hmm.
doesn't doesn't save you from the powerful grief you experience when you actually do lose
Right.
them. And so anticipatory grief is it's this idea that you are losing the future that you hope
Mm-hmm.
for
Right.
with them. And as she said, it's sometimes they look fine
Yeah.
and it doesn't make any sense to you. And other times you feel like you're coming close to having to make the decision, and you always have to be monitoring and trying to let them live and experience pleasure until you feel like
They can't.
they can't, that the experience of being alive is more painful
Mm-hmm.
than any pleasure that is to be gained.
Right.
And what a roller
It's really
coaster, and
hard.
what a hard thing it
Oh,
is.
it's hard. And we
Yeah.
and Michelle, thank you for sharing. I mean, this is one of the most difficult things. I mean, sudden death and loss, or need to do sudden euthanasia because of what's going on with your animals. Also, the shock and it's just outrageous. It's almost like you stop breathing. And the other side of that is the anticipatory grief, right? When you know it's coming, but you don't know when.
Yeah.
And so, and that, like Ken, you said, it's, oh, he's really good today, right?
Yeah.
And then, oh, what's happening now with him? And that back and forth just is excruciating.
It's so
We
hard.
hear you,
And it's a time
feel
when
for you.
get support, take good care of
Hmm.
yourself. Sometimes people feel like they have to stop every life activity
Yeah,
and just be with their
their loved
animal
ones.
friend, and sometimes that's just not possible because life is complex. You've got your work, you've got
Hmm.
perhaps
Family,
dependents in your family, yeah,
responsibilities.
and so
Yeah.
it's a very hard balance
Hmm.
to strike. So we are sending you our best wishes, and
Yes,
hope that perhaps you're in a better place now. We don't know exactly what the timing is here, but
right.
yeah. But
But
thank you
we
for
sent,
sharing, because that's going to resonate with a lot of people.
yeah, we send you hugs. We know it's
Yep.
hard.
Yep. So then we'll move on. And this comment starts with, "This video was so helpful for me. All I can say is thank you. I've been struggling with so much conscientious guilt." A very interesting term.
Yes.
Over what I could have done better, even though I literally did everything in my power, and then lots more. My girl lived to 20 and a half years old, but somehow, if she didn't live forever, I feel it's my fault. Can your deep insights especially speak directly to my heart and what I'm going through? It's absolutely uncanny. You must be an INFJ. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, we had to look up
Yeah, we
INFJ
did.
because back in our corporate years, It's a
We took
Myers-Briggs
tests.
Briggs category, and I don't remember what my Myers-Briggs is, but I'm sure that's a compliment. So I thank you for that. And boy, again, it's like you said it all there with if she didn't live forever, I'm gonna blame myself.
That's
Even
right.
though this animal lived to be 20 and a half years old, I'm guessing it's a cat, and that's a good old ripe age
Oh my
for
God. Even though
any.
it's never enough, but
No,
yes,
it's
it's
never.
good old.
But this idea and this also conscientious guilt, which
Yeah.
is very, very interesting. This idea of way I'm interpreting that is you're so conscientious that you're overrun with guilt because you couldn't fix it.
But that's what
And
happens, right? With the
absolutely.
pet parents that do the most,
Yeah.
we found have almost the most guilt because
Yeah.
they needed to not be able to cure their animal
Yeah.
or prevent death.
Yeah. If
And
she
it
didn't
doesn't
live forever,
happen.
I feel like it's my fault.
Yeah, I
And
know.
nobody's going to live forever. None of us are going to live forever. And so the best we can do is love and care for them and be attentive and do what I'm sure this person did, which is literally everything in her power
To
and
take
then
care
lots
of
more,
that
as they're
baby.
saying, and try to be gentle with ourselves and
Mhm.
realize that this stuff is way life and death is way outside of our
Right.
control. We weren't responsible for bringing them into the world, and we
Hmm.
can't prevent them from
I'm
leaving this
going out.
world. Yeah.
And she has a big heart. We know that you love your girl.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
you still do, and you will forever.
Still
Right.
connected, I'm sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Nancy, want
So
to do
now,
our thing?
Deborah. Okay. This is gut wrenching to listen to. I chose to have my soul dog euthanized at home because I thought it would be so much better for him to go out in a place where he was happy and felt safe rather than at the vet's office that he was terrified of. The vet came in and gave him a sedative, and I said, "Is that going to put him to sleep?" And she said, "No, it's just going to relax him." But it did the opposite. He was trying to stand and his legs gave out, and that made him panic. And then she came to do the second injection, and he was scared and trying to get away. And I was holding his little face and telling him it's okay, looking into his eyes, but he knew it wasn't okay. And I can't forgive myself for sending him out that way. I failed him. I should have done more research. I should have asked more questions. I just thought they gave him a shot and that he'd be gone because that's what had happened to my last dog at the vet's office. It was quick, but he was still scared being there. This has been the worst and most painful trauma I've ever been through, and I don't know how to get past it. Mm.
Well, here again, we don't have control. Sometimes animals and human beings have paradoxical reactions to
Mm-hmm.
medications. And sometimes an animal that you're giving them a sedative and it doesn't touch them, or it in some way or other activates them to be more active, more
Mm-hmm.
energized. And that is something that we wouldn't expect.
Right, of course.
And it sounds like she had a dog who was already terrified to be
Mm-hmm.
in the vet's office. So that would have been probably even more
Problematic.
upsetting for the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's
It's
these
one of
things
these
happen.
these very, very unfortunate things.
Yeah.
You know, and especially with, I mean, the veterinarians that go out to do euthanasias, they're mobile, are usually they're fine. You
Hmm.
know, Lap of Love does a lot. I mean, there are
Yeah.
other private,
Yep.
I mean, Sheila that I work with. Sheila was on our podcast. She goes out to do them. But as with any situation with an animal, sometimes, like you said, could have an adverse, reaction, or sometimes the veins aren't right, or something has gone on in the animal's body, and then it can be really, really difficult and challenging as to how the dog or the cat is actually then euthanized. And so, unfortunately, even I'm sure the vet in this scenario was horrified. I mean, I thought she was so upset because that wasn't the anticipation, right? That the dog was going to have this reaction. But we've heard it sometimes, unfortunately, there are those situations, especially with veins,
Yeah.
that if they can't put the catheter in the vein, then that becomes also an issue because how are you going to inject any medication into that?
And when
So,
she, well, when she says I failed him, I should have done more
mm-mm,
research. I should have asked more questions. I just can't imagine
no,
what
mm-mm,
research or questions would have uncovered the likelihood of this kind of reaction. So I disagree with her. I don't think she did any, I don't think she
no,
left anything undone that she should have done. I mean, trying to make sure that, making sure that it's done at home in circumstances that are comfortable for her dog, that's the best you can do.
mm-hmm,
And there's no way of knowing that there would be this kind of a reaction. And so
no,
uh, I know that saying that is not necessarily going to do much of anything to reduce the trauma.
I
I think
know.
that's the kind of thing she'll think about and talk about, and it'll affect her for some time. But she didn't do anything wrong, and she didn't
No,
leave
mm-mm,
anything undone that she should have done because she did the best she could, and that's
that's
all
right.
any of us can do, really.
She did the best she could, and nobody would have that acknowledgement or thought that her precious dog would have had that reaction.
And as she said, she's had a dog
Yeah,
euthanized
mhm,
before.
which was very
It went very
peaceful.
smoothly,
Hmm.
and weird things happen. I had my cat. I was just telling you before, I had my cat to the vet, and she's a barn cat, and she's quite nice when you touch her on her terms, and you've seen her on this podcast. She comes and stands in front of my screen in
Yes,
my
Esme.
computer, Esme. Well, she had gabapentin and trazodone the night before and the morning of a vet visit this past Friday. Not, I'm saying this Monday, because she's been showing a little bit of difficulties that I wanted to get looked at. Turns out that she doesn't have any significant issues, but I took her to the vet after the gabapentin and the trazodone, and she was relatively relaxed. When she got there, she went bonkers. I mean,
Yeah.
completely feral, even with the assistant holding her with the gloves. So they asked if they said it would be a good idea to sedate her so there could be a full assessment. So I had a conversation with them about, what are the likely side effects of that? What if she does have a kidney problem or a thyroid problem? Very light sedation. I gave her the sedation. She has been out ever since then. She
Yeah.
just started coming
And
back
this
to
is
what looked
Thursday.
like normal on Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, we did learn that she doesn't have thyroid problems, she doesn't have a kidney problem, she doesn't have any parasites, she has some kind of anemia that's being evaluated. She's 14 years old. But I've never seen an animal respond
Yeah.
to sedation this way.
Like
I
that.
I thought she was dying. I had to talk to the vet Monday evening because she was just limp, and
And
she
that's
was
so
she was
scary.
rousable just a little bit, but I kept in touch with them, and but this is not a normal reaction to sedation. And she's, as I said just now, she's kind of, this afternoon, she's more like herself. But veterinarians do the best they can, and
Yeah.
we all have our own physiology, and
Hmm.
sometimes we just are not going to respond to chemicals in the same way that others might,
Hmm.
and or most people and most animals would. And there's no way of knowing that ahead of time.
No. I mean, I guess it would be, and I don't even know if there's no perfection in this, but if there needed to be euthanasia and the doctor, the veterinarian who was the general practice or specialty vet that have been working with and treating, your companion, they would have a little bit of a better idea, as to what would happen maybe. But even then, things happen.
And sometimes, like my cat has been to the vet. She's a barn cat. She's been to the vet exactly 2 times.
Right.
And she's 14 years old, because it is so traumatic for her. I mean, she literally goes berserk, like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And so she's in quite good health apparently, but I just felt like, and maybe needs a tooth cleaning. And I'm thinking, I don't know, can this animal be sedated again?
I don't know.
I don't think I'm going to have her sedated again,
No.
because but that's the thing. If you have an animal who is it's just so distressed by going to the vet, you don't want to take them there.
Well,
it's very painful for them.
it's
Emotionally.
especially cats. I think that I mean, I see them come in and out all the time when I'm at the vet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are very few dogs, no cats necessarily, they're not anxious
Yeah.
or panting or
Yeah.
darting their eyes around or hiding under the chairs,
Yeah.
I mean, they're just always a little, well, they have all those smells, right? It's
Yeah.
a hospital. A lot of animals are in there.
Yeah.
So it's one the other day, it was a big golden or a yellow lab, I think. So cute, so wonderful. And his moms are there, right? And one mom's petting him. And all of a sudden, as soon as she stops, he puts his big paw on her hand.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Please keep
My
going.
Hildy does that.
Keep going.
If she wants attention, if you stop,
He-
if you stop, you get the command. You get a paw. You get her head on your lap.
because he's panting and he's
Yeah.
like, oh God, what's going to happen here? I know, and yet they need to be seen, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's the hard part about that.
But with this situation, I just hope that she's able to
Yeah,
see this differently over time, because she did the very best
yeah,
possible. There's nothing more. What else can you do but try to comfort your dog at home
yeah.
as they're
I
making
know.
this transition.
Right. And many, many, many times I mean, more than average, or the most of them are fine. But
We have
unfortunately, sometimes
Yeah,
they're not.
unfortunately, I mean, this is not a totally isolated event. We've heard this
No.
kind of thing,
Mhm.
but it's not something you can predict. And if the question that I have for her that comes to mind is, what could you do differently? I mean,
Yeah, right.
there's really
There
no
was
other
no
choice.
There was no way to know.
I can't think of another choice that and it's an extremely brief period of distress,
Yeah,
and then peace
yeah.
for this dog who she loves so much.
I
So
know.
we'll stop there, and again, we thank you for
Yeah, we
being with
take
us.
all of the comments that we get, which is we'd like to share every once in a while because there's quite a few, and people are responding to the podcast. There is one here, and they are saying we're really excited and thank you so much that you shared our story.
Yeah.
That was Ching, and so we want to let people know the writing of the stories is really cathartic, and hearing them spoken
Yep.
is also cathartic.
So if you haven't already, once again, I'll just remind you to please subscribe. If you haven't, to also leave a comment or a thumbs up, because that alerts the YouTube algorithm to bring the program to the attention of people who are looking for support with pet care. And also, we'll just remind you that our book, The Pet Loss Companion,
It's
is now
audible.
available as an audiobook on a number of audiobook platforms. And the link to both the hard copy book and the new audio book are in the description as well. And Nancy, it's great talking with you as
Yes,
always. Well,
of
I'll
course.
see you on Tuesday, actually. We're going to get
Yeah,
together
we're
on
going to
Tuesday.
meet.
So
We love our
we do that
breakfasts.
periodically. Okay. All right. Take care, everybody.
Everyone take
Bye.
care.